Mac and Me is the name of a movie. And Sean...
Isn't that Marley and Me?
No, Mac and Me is a bad 80s E.T. ripoff that came out in 88. I was reminded of it recently, but it doesn't matter. I was just trying to use the word Mac in a way that Sean could capitalize on to tell us about Mac World.
Mac World.
What is that? Is it a big warehouse full of accessories for iPhones, or? Kind
of. It's not a warehouse. It's at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, which is like the super nice convention hall.
Okay.
It's where GDC was.
Ah.
And so I just found out about it last night. Apparently, it's been going on the last couple of days. Like, it's a 3-day event.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know how you could spend 3 days there, because here's the secret to Macworld.
Okay.
Macworld sucks.
Oh no! You were texting me about microphones being cheap. That sounds like it doesn't suck.
That was the one interesting thing. It's like, oh, Blue, I know what this company is. I actually have something of theirs. Let me tell you what the rest of the convention hall is filled with. iPhone bullshit accessories that nobody ever needs.
Like,
you can't be surprised with a place called Macworld having bullshit iPhone accessories, though.
Well,
covers for them.
Kind of interesting. I am someone who's really excited and interested about cool apps on my phone, but those were not cool apps that they were talking about. They were talking about stuff like a attachment for your iPhone that allows it to have a thermal camera.
You don't want that? You don't want spy tech? You don't want to be able to...
I don't. I would love to know who does, because I can't think of that person.
You walk around at night and you thermal vision. It's like your Splinter Cell Sam Fisher or something, but with an iPhone.
Yeah. Who's that person?
In front of your face. I don't know. I guess, did it, like, I was looking at one, like, the iRig keyboard. It's like you plug your keyboard into your iPhone and you can play piano. I don't have a piano. That seems...
Again, who wants that?
I don't know. I want a keyboard, so it's maybe that would be a way to do it, right?
That sounds like an awful idea.
I didn't go through with this idea.
Full on, like, it's like, all right, hey, I'm a news reporter, and then we have our big news cameras with boom mics, but no, instead of a camera, it's an iPad, but we still have all these lenses and boom mics strapped to it.
Strapping camera attachments onto an iPad, you mean? Like a lens?
And like boom microphones and stuff.
It seems a little weird, but I mean...
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's basically everything I saw there was... That seemed a little weird.
iPad's cheaper than like a professional video camera.
Yeah, but it's also the dumbest thing. If you take photos with your iPad, you're silly.
Well, like, a lot of businesses do, like, you can put a credit card reader on it and stuff. Like, I imagine some stuff like that was there, like debit.
I don't think I saw any credit card readers, but yes, I see a ton of those. I've even seen a lot of food trucks around here will do that with their phone, and they'll just hand you your phone to swipe and whatnot.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It is being
All right, here's another one. Device. This one was called like Big Grips or something like that. And here's the thing. So it's for your iPad. It's like big foam border for it, like to make it really big because the iPad's too skinny.
Yeah, there's
if you're, for example, like this is okay. Here's the use case for this. If you're, say, a giant, literally, and you're like, man, this iPad keeps sliding between my fingers because it's the size of my fingernail. Good thing Big Grips exists.
So I can just cup it a little more comfortably. Or is it for kids who are going to drop it or something? Like, it's actually secretly just foaming, protecting the iPad.
Oh, maybe it's that, I guess.
That seems a lot more likely than Giants.
Well, there's big and tall stores for clothing, so maybe it's just, iPads for Giants. They need to figure this out. But no, I'm assuming it's like kids playing games on there all the time.
Maybe it's that. I didn't actually think of that one. So you can make your iPad the ugliest looking thing for your kid.
Yeah, well, I guess it's better than having it shatter, but yeah, I don't know.
And, like, everyone wanted you to take a look at their, like, iPad desk stand.
So it almost sounds like this is like one of those as seen on TV style, like just hall of weird oddities, but they're all Mac-centric.
Right, but they're not even, like, super weird. They're just, like, well, I guess that's a use case, but who wants that?
Like, is there one where you can, like, mount it on your fridge and have your grocery list or something?
I think there was ones that had, like, suction cups on it, so you could put it on a wall or something.
Stick it somewhere. It's like, I want to watch this movie, and then you just put it up on the wall. That sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh, here's one. It was called like the hoodie or something. It literally looked like a tent for your iPad.
What? Why? Okay, like a little mini tent to keep it out of the rain?
Like a tent with one wall gone, so I guess you can like watch a movie if you put your head in it.
That sounds... Yeah, I don't know. So, how many hours did you spend at Macworld before you decided on that?
I spent about an hour and a half just walking around. There wasn't much, so I saw everything about like 2 or 3 times. I never really stopped for that long to look at something. And then I spent about half an hour like, man, in half an hour there's going to be like a talk about like fitness peripherals and stuff. And I like fitness, so I waited like half an hour. I read like my Kindle and whatnot on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And then I was told, oh, you only have an Expo Pass. You can't see the talks. So I was like, all right, and then I left.
Okay. So people are intended, like, is your pass only for today then? You're saying people were not really expecting...
Normally they sell 3-day passes, but I think because I bought it on the final day or the day before the final day, it was like $10 as opposed to 30 because I would only be getting 1 day out of it.
But in retrospect, that totally works out because you can't spend 3 days of this thing, by the sound of it, which... Okay.
I don't know how you would be able to spend 3 days there. I don't.
It's like a weird store that's only open for 3 days, and you can buy...
And everyone, and a bunch of companies there want you to... And it actually, it had the bad convention stuff of like, hey, we have free stuff, but they're all just like tote bags. So do you want a tote bag about our Western digital competitor for like online storage? No. Well, we brought like 5 different options. You can have a free tote bag, and tons of people wanted that. And it's just like the free stuff's not even like, I'm not trying to be like, why isn't there good free stuff? But it's just like we're still like lining up, and everyone was like carrying these around. And I'm like, why do you guys want these bags? What are you gonna do with these?
Groceries later? Maybe?
Yeah, but who doesn't have grocery bags? Like,
I mean, we have a bag full of bags at this
ones,
point.
right?
Yeah, they're reusable, but doesn't everyone have reusable bags now? Like, or is everyone just like, oh man, now I got a sweet, like, Dropbox competitor themed grocery bag?
Yeah. No, I've somehow stumbled into like a dozen reusable bags by now, so yeah, we're good.
Yeah, like I have 2. They work every week.
Oh, they're still functional. Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't need a new one. I could have gotten some new ones if I needed to.
Huh.
I didn't. The one thing that was actually kind of interesting, however, it was only just like a video, and then the product beside it, you couldn't like try it out or anything, and then a bunch of banners saying, "Hey, check out our Kickstarter or whatever." Was this thing called Ring, where it's first off, it's a ring you put on your finger, but it's really big, so you don't want to be seen wearing it because you'll look like an idiot.
Okay. Okay.
But apparently, if you like sync it to your phone and like make it certain tasks, you can like kind of write in the air, and that'll do stuff to your phone.
What?
So like one of the video, again, I don't know how well it works because all I saw was their like video, and that's like probably best case scenario. But it was stuff like guy in a car, and he writes like 5 minutes, and then swipes to the right, and it says message sent. Which that definitely sounds cool. And there was also stuff like someone like kind of drew a light bulb in the air and their lamp turned on. So I guess if your lamp was Bluetooth connected to your phone, you could do that. I don't know.
Man, just writing out 5 minutes takes a little longer than I thought it would.
Well, he wrote 5 mins.
Okay. I guess you'd have to start using.
But if you do think about it, because they were doing like, look, I'm going to write hello. And I'm like, yeah, but I could type that in a fraction of the time of you drawing hello in the world and like hoping it works.
I guess it's just less distraction, and also wearable technology is hot right now, so...
I guess. This wasn't even good-looking wearable technology. I would not want to be seen with this.
With a giant ring.
And it has, like, and it has to be on one that you're pointing, so you'd have to do your pointer, and now you're...
Now you're the coolest. Alright. Yeah. So check it out on Kickstarter. Was there a lot of, like, that kind of, like, hey, hashtag this, check us out on Facebook? We'll give you this tote bag.
There was definitely a lot of, like, hey, if you like this, you'll get a free gift. Which was a bag.
Yeah. Okay, exactly.
But the annoying thing is that it had that because one of the things I hate at conventions is if I'm going around a booth, I kind of don't want the person at the booth to like approach me because maybe I just want to like read.
Like, don't make eye contact. Don't look too interested.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're gonna come up and they're gonna start selling me their product, right? And this entire. But here's the problem with Macworld. Every single booth, they're trying to sell you a product. It's not even just like. Because at PAX, they're just like, hey, we're at PAX, we're having a good time, wow! No, this one they're like, hey, are you interested in a tripod for your phone? And no, I'm not. Ever.
Okay.
So every booth, I just had to kind of like kind of head down a bit and just, oh, that guy's already on his way towards me, I'm going to move away. Like if a person like sees you like looking at their booth, they're already coming over to you with a pamphlet. It's like, no, I don't want to know about your fat grips. Leave me alone. Don't tell me about your new app.
Honestly, I felt because of Kickstarter, PAX got maybe a little bit worse for that because people can sell you a thing, which is back us on Kickstarter right now. So there's a little bit of that, but yeah, that sounds much worse.
Which I understand that, but it's just I don't like that.
Yeah, it's just like I don't even know what this is yet. Like I want to look at it. I'll check it out.
Like if I want to talk to you, I'll come up and say, "Hey, tell me about your thing." But no, and I understand these people were probably hired and trained to be like, "Hey, you got to get anyone you can over to our booth. You got to get them in. Like just whatever you do, get their Twitter account, okay?" Or,
open-ended questions, no closed questions, like that kind of. Yeah, exactly. So thumbs down on Macworld.
Thumbs down on Macworld. However, it did give me an excuse to go to Target and buy a new pillow, so that was awesome.
Wait, how did those connect? Oh, you were out and about anyway?
I was out and about, and Target's right beside the Moscone Center, so I was able to grab a new pillow.
So Target was the best part of Macworld, is what you're saying?
Target was the best part of my day. You get a nice extra firm pillow, because that's how I like it.
Okay. Pillows are pretty great.
You heard it here first. Sean likes it extra firm.
I you give me a rock, and I'm happy. That's as firm as you can get.
That's definitely extra firm. I'll give you that.
Yeah. The firmer, the better for my head.
There you go.
Video games! They're sold at Target.
I brought up Sam Fisher a while ago. That's how you knew. It was kind of foreshadowing that was going to happen.
Yep.
Hey, John.
Target sells video games, and we buy video games here at the Top 10 Perspective. I'm your host this week, John Wheeler, and I'm joined, as always, by Nathan Rohr.
Hey.
And Sean Booker.
And unlike John, I buy and play video games.
I played more video games than you guys this week. Don't give me any.
True.
That's true.
Some of them are new and relevant too, like hot new games.
Wow.
Some of them aren't.
Fuck you too.
Shots fired.
It's specifically one on your list that is like brings a smile on my face, but it's like this is so weird. But okay, whatever. We'll find out about that later.
All right. Well, since you're so uppity about it, Nathan, how about you tell us what you played this week?
This week I played most of South Park: The Stick of Truth. I think.
I saw your achievements the whole week. I was tracking them.
Yeah.
If you could sneakily tell me where you are in the game, I can tell you how much you got left, because I actually did beat South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Okay, I just finished the abortion clinic, which was the worst. It's so bad.
I love how you can say that, and it's not really that spoilery.
Yeah, I know. It's a location that you could go to earlier in the game, but there's later stuff that needs to happen there, and oh my gosh, wow. Like, some of the grossest stuff I've ever had to do. Like, I was actually thinking, like, that there was outrage over the Grand Theft Auto, like, torture scene, but I've heard nothing about this is, like, really weird to me. You get away with anything. I think
that was, like, in an actual South Park episode. Which is probably
some of that business, yeah. But wow,
the game is full of so many references to the show. It's
for sure
crazy.
Yeah. Hey, can you enjoy it if you've never watched the show?
Yes, but I think it'll be a little bit trickier because like most of the references are just like things in the background. So,
like, there'll be some stuff where you're like in a character's room and you can kind of just look at their closet and it's basically just a wall of references. But that will be like, this is useless. Moving on, because there's no items to pick up or anything.
A lot of the major events you do in the game are actually like references to things that happen in the show.
Okay, like key plot points and stuff. Like, I'm trying to think.
You haven't gotten to one of them yet, but one of them is super obvious.
Okay. Taco Bell. I don't know. I haven't so where am I then in the plot line? Day 3.
If you've just been
March
there,
29.
Have you gone to Canada yet?
No. I saw that there was kind of top right corner of the map mentions Canada, so
I hear that's an interesting part.
If you haven't even been to Canada yet, then you are probably less than 2/3 through the game.
Oh wow, okay. I was told like 12 hours and I'm at like 9, but I've also been enjoying side content and stuff, so maybe that's where I'm making up the time.
Yeah, you've probably got another 2 or 3 hours left, maybe. Depending on how fast you play.
I welcome it. I'm having a decent time. I did run into the exact same glitch you did with like that tutorial hanging.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
What system are you playing on?
I'm playing on PC.
Okay.
So I was surprised to because it was just like the battle just kind of stopped and I could no longer select anybody and it was just kind of like I think this was supposed to move forward. So then I loaded and it worked. But yeah, that was like right at the beginning. Since then, nothing's really gone wrong. It kind of wasn't recognizing my gamepad one time I booted it up, but then I closed it and opened it again, and it did. But I don't know. It's a RPG. There's it's got the look of the show. It's got all sorts of weird, smaller references, like some of the summons you can unlock and stuff. I've only got 2 of those so far. Mr. Hanky, I just solved his problem with his kids.
Wait, you've only got 2 of the 4. At the point of the game you're at, you should have them all.
Oh, okay, I screwed up. I don't know. Should I go through my side quests more thoroughly, or?
Yeah, you get them through side quests. So.
Okay. How many Facebook friends do you have by like the end of the game?
I believe the total to get like the achievement for having them all is 120, but there's a couple you can miss. I missed at least 3.
Okay, I'm around like. Oh, you can permanently miss them. It's just like
yes, which is stupid.
I might have missed him.
There's one where you have to go in a specific room before you go like continue the plot during a school portion.
Okay.
Did you meet Lemmywinks?
I don't think so.
Then yeah, you've already missed one.
He's gone for everything. Oh, okay. Well, I have around 50 or something. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm playing it leisurely. I am just kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, I ended with 117, so I was 3 off. And there's one at like near the very end of the game you can miss. You get like 1 shot at it. That's it.
Okay. It's pretty funny. It kind of got me to watch the episodes that lead up to it in the past season, like the kind of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that.
Yeah, like Cartman as a wizard and all that stuff is kind of in the show, and then it like it ends with them picking up a stick, and then it's like, hey, South Park video game. So it's kind of like, okay, just right into the video game. That's kind of cool. And Princess Kenny and all that stuff. So.
Or as they keep saying, Princess Kenny.
Kenny.
Everyone says it like Kenny.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Have you been enjoying it so far, basically?
Yeah. My only kind of Brittany intends to play it, so it's almost like one of those TV show things where it's like I can't watch this ahead of her or whatever. It's kind of this like, oh, I don't want to spoil the game for you, so I won't play it. So that's probably one of the reasons I haven't finished it, but that's fine. Like I just play it kind of on days off when no one else is around.
No, fair enough.
To kind of get some time in. Most of that was in one big session. Like I played it for like 4 or 5 hours, and really dug it. So yeah, it's doing its job pretty well. Yeah. Oh, right, Towerfall. I also played more of that.
Nice.
Only new thing to kind of add this week is the way they kind of reveal new stages and new characters and stuff is awesome. Like, it's just kind of like you're just playing a match and then something super weird will happen and you're just like, what's going on? And then it's like, new characters here, you gotta fight them to unlock them or whatever. Or like, some crazy event happens where a new stage...
challenger approaching?
Yeah, it's kind of that kind of... I don't know what I did, but there is a new thing for me to get. So
you've been playing for 99 hours. That's why Mewtwo's here.
Or yeah, you've just crossed 100 matches or something, so now there's a new... thing to look for. So yeah, it's been kind of like it's just fun to play the core game of it, like randomize the kind of you can kind of change what items show up and some different power-ups and like death on dodging and stuff like that. You can kind of tweak out the game. So we're just kind of hitting randomize and then jumping in and seeing some very different stuff. And yeah, I don't know. That game is very fun. I've still only played it really primarily 2-player. But even then, it's a pretty cool game. The thing I started playing this week that kind of ended up being like the lion's share of my gaming time was you guys ever heard Chrono Trigger? Have you ever?
Yep. It's one of my favorite Super Nintendo RPGs.
Oh, cool. I've played it before, like the PlayStation port years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Since that time, I have apparently forgotten like everything about that game, because like I'm playing it again, it's just like I remember there's like a robot and Frog, and at some point there's like this
Frog is the man.
Frog's pretty awesome. I've been doing a lot of Frog-centric stuff lately.
Frog's theme is my favorite song, and then he cuts open that like mountain. Oh, so
I think My favorite song is like this weird, sad variation on like the main theme that plays over like the Middle Ages section. It's just like haunting. It's weird. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. I've played like 9 hours of that. I'm also.
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on DS.
Okay, that's the one I have.
Yeah, that's the definitive version.
Yeah, like I've been playing it kind of alongside watching the Giant Bomb endurance run of it, which I had never really seen before. So
is bumming you out because Ryan Davis?
It's kind of it's kind of a double-edged thing of just like this is a big piece of Giant Bomb Ryan Davis content I never saw before, so I get to see it now. But it is kind of a bummer that brings up a lot of memories of that time and whatever. But it's kind of cool because they're playing the SNES version, or they played the SNES version, so I'm seeing like all the kind of translation differences and like little things that have changed over the years, like just enemy names and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely more like I don't know if it's like they've had to change it or whatever in the DS one, or if it's just more accurate, but there's more descriptive kind of text of just like what you should do is a little more.
Yeah, they gave you a little bit better translation, basically.
Yeah, it's much appreciated, I guess. But then I guess if I also get like totally stuck, I can just watch ahead a little bit on the endurance round and be like, oh, I have to go back to the Middle Ages via the carnival. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it would just be in the kind of central hub area. So I don't know. In terms of where I am in that game, like I just beat Magus for the first time. Kind of?
So that would be the first third of the game.
Cool. Okay, that seems about right. It's like I have the vaguest memories of some of the stuff that I played before. Like at some point, there is a point where Magus can become the main character, right?
Well, he becomes a playable character, yeah.
But like Chrono leaves. Isn't that a thing that can happen?
Whatever. If I tell you that, it's a spoiler. So.
Okay. It's just I remember that happening, but I don't know what I did or whatever. Yeah, that game's great. I don't know. It's like kind of doing this very gradual like slope up thing where you're just the next thing you find is always slightly better than the thing you just had and all that kind of stuff of just like this is super like this is just how this goes. But yeah, finding treasure chests, fighting dudes, magic. I had to grind a little bit maybe to fight Magus properly and go back and buy a bunch of potions because I was just not up to snuff.
So you're just on an RPG kick right now?
Kinda, yeah. Maybe like South Park kind of kicked off a bit of an RPG kick, and since I can't play that all the time, I am also juggling it with Chrono Trigger, which yeah, that is a well-regarded game. And
who's your main team you're rolling with?
I did have Robo kind of as part of my core lineup for a while, but I switched him out for Luca.
Okay.
Recently, just because her fire attack is pretty awesome, and that helped me out in that Magus battle. And Frog was part of the whole Magus story, so he had to be in my crew, but he's also a cool dude. He learned heal recently, which heals all of us, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole text and triple text and double text and all that stuff. Dual text, I think is what this. Anyway. Yep. Yeah, cool game. Can you kind of elect to fight Lavos whenever you want? Like.
Yeah, but you've got to be pretty strong to fight Lavos.
Okay, so not even worth doing that.
No, if you went to fight Lavos right now, what level are you roughly?
27, 28.
You'd get wrecked.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, it's the end boss and all that, but yeah.
Basically, if this is your first playthrough and on a New Game Plus, don't bother fighting Lavos until like there's really nothing else left to do.
Okay. I guess, does it let you roll through it, New Game Plus, like you get to keep stuff and keep...
Yes.
Okay, it's not
all
just...
All your equipment, all your levels, all your skills.
Okay, and then there's all... Like, is the big branch point with all the different endings near the end of the game, or is it like, no, there's already choices I've made?
Pretty much every like major plot point where like something changes up, there's a branch you can take to just end the game at that point.
Okay.
And it'll change the ending. Like there's about 12 endings, but like only 2 of them actually happen like at the end and will like slightly dictate things, and even then it's like really small things.
Okay. Huh. I guess I'll see. I'm definitely still enjoying it, so gonna keep rolling on that all the way through probably. But yeah, that's it for games this week. Pretty much, I'm still playing threes, but I'm not breaking through that crust into the next level of points, so it's kind of just disappointing now. But
all right.
Yeah.
Sean, you've been quiet for a bit. What have you been playing?
I'm still going through Professor Layton.
Mm-hmm. How far
I
are you
think
now?
I don't really think I like this one.
Oh
And
no.
the main thing is there isn't really a mystery going on, and that's the big thing with Professor Layton games. There's always like one like major mystery, and you're slowly unveiling different aspects about it, and you even get the whole like mystery screen, and it's all these like subplots going on within the main mystery, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one seems more of just like you're kind of just on an adventure and need to collect these things, and there isn't really a mystery. So like it's not as engaging, I'd say. So I'm not like as invested because there's no big like, what's the answer? I need to know. It's more just like I have to go collect this thing, and then I have to collect this other thing, and then I have to collect this other thing. And there's a big kind of question of like, what am I going to get at the end of this? But there's no just like weird occurrence going on. So I'm just not as invested as I normally am with the Professor Layton games, but.
Did they like change up the writing staff in recent years or something? It just sounds like they've kind of fallen off a bit in terms of
level
intrigue.
5. I mean, has been like splitting up between more and more projects each time, so I could see like some of the main staff not being on the Layton games.
It's also their 6th one, so I could understand it not being as like incredible as the first couple.
Right. It's like the MacGuffin just isn't as interesting, but
yeah,
that's too bad.
So not much else to say about that so far. I'm still checking through. I've also been playing a bit of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Nice. Where are you in that game?
I think it's the 3rd world. It's like the jungle, like the African, like the safari world.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am.
Have you been playing the K stages or getting any of the secret levels?
No. How do you get those?
To get the K stages, you have to get Kong in every stage. And to get the secret levels, which are like level A and level B, you just need to find the secret exits and stages.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think I found any secret exits. Like, this game is difficult. I've just been playing, beating this level, and like, all right, well, I didn't get that one. I'm gonna keep going. But I will say, I love the level designs in this game. Like, specifically the second world, like mountain themed, and there's like, you know, German beer steins or whatever, just all over the place and whatnot. I love the way they set them up, and like you're slowly like climbing the mountain, and there's I can't think of something specific, but just the way they set up every stage and how you'll like fly around the area and whatnot. It's just super fun and delightful. Like, this is almost like a Mario 3D world, Mario Galaxy level of like these stages are unique and exciting and whatnot. So I'm having a ton of fun with that at the moment. And I've just been playing it on the gamepad, just like in bed or whatever, or while I'm at my desk. And it's a great looking game, that's for sure. John, have you played any of it?
Yeah, I've beaten the first world.
Okay? So the second world, that's the mountain one, which I really like. But who's your favorite like buddy to help you out?
Right now I'm leaning towards Dixie, but Cranky seems to be pretty awesome. I watched some of the stage speed runs you can do for the medals, and Cranky like just helps you keep your momentum and go through a stage crazy fast.
I'm not a huge Cranky fan just because he's just more difficult to use than the other ones because he requires an extra button tap, so there's just more timing involved with him. But I could definitely see the momentum keeping up. I usually use Diddy when I have the choice. I have not seen any silhouette stages, so that must be like those A stages and whatnot.
Yeah, one of the side stages is a silhouette stage.
Yeah, so I haven't even seen a single one yet, which that's a huge bummer.
Yeah, there's one right in World 1.
Sorry?
There's one right in World 1.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I haven't done any of the side stages, so I should probably go back and really try and get those. But the minecart stages are super fun, and specifically like it's either in the second world or the third world, but there's just like planes crashing into the area while you're minecarting around, so things are falling apart, things are blowing up. It's really great. They're tons of fun. Riding around on the Rhino is always good. Quite enjoying it. I haven't played as much as I'd like to because I'm trying to get Layton done first, but that's definitely like the next game I'll dive right into. And then the last thing, I didn't quite play it, but I thought it's worth mentioning. I watched Free to Play this week.
Okay.
Which is the Dota documentary, the Dota 2 documentary.
How did you feel about that?
Have you seen it?
I haven't. but I'm curious about it, I guess.
Right. So I don't know anything about Dota 2. Let me preface it with that.
Okay.
I enjoyed it for the most part. Like it's kind of like an indie game. The movie, thematically similar in terms of just like it's not so much about the games as it is about the people behind the games and kind of what their struggles are and whatnot. And it's all about the first international tournament, so like 3 years ago or whatever it was.
Okay.
And just like the top teams that came to that, and they kind of focus on one person per team, and like why they're so into Dota, what they've had to give up to become like a professional gamer from their country and whatnot. And for the most part, I enjoyed it quite a bit. And like again, I don't know anything about Dota. I didn't know anything about before this, but they set up the international so that the two teams were like sitting right in front of each other playing, just in like two glass cases, so like they can see each other. That's insane. That's so like whenever they'd get a kill, like one of them would just like jump up and could just like taunt them like right to their face.
Oh, okay. So
like,
a lot of trash talking and aggressive.
Well, they couldn't hear them because
yeah.
like I think they were in because they're in little like booths, but they're like maybe 3 meters right in front of their opponent, right there. With like 2 computers in between them. But yeah, that it seems tense, and that the movie is free everywhere. You can it's on Steam. I just watched it on YouTube. So I would probably recommend it. I think it's under an hour and a half.
Yeah, it looks like 75 minutes is the listing.
There's actually a ton of. They put a bunch of animation in it as well because they have some game footage because that stuff's all captured, right? But then what they'll do is like when like a hit or like something important's happening, they'll like zoom in on the game footage and actually animate like what's happening from like impossible camera angles and whatnot.
Okay.
Which was kind of odd to see, and that was definitely different. But it looks fine for the most part.
So it's still compelling despite having no real like knowledge or interest in the core game that it's centered around. Like it's
right. I knew nothing about it. I learned a little bit about it. Like for the most part, they'll just kind of catch you up on like, hey, there's these two. There's like an end point on each side. The other team is trying to destroy that to win the game and stuff.
Okay.
So they give you enough. They give you about enough, and then you're kind of noticing like, oh man, obviously this guy doesn't want to get killed. Oh, he just got killed. That's a bad thing. So like they teach you enough about it, for sure.
So did it leave you going like, man, I gotta play some Dota 2, or was it just like, oh, interesting? That's.
It was more of just like, oh, interesting. That's an aspect of video games I knew nothing about, and there we go. Okay. So I might recommend it if you have 2 hours to kill or whatever.
Sure. I mean, I enjoyed that Smash Brothers thing, and that was like 4 hours or something. So
right, I haven't seen that one. But like I said, if you like Indie Game the movie, I think you'll enjoy this.
Okay. Cool. That's just you're right. It's on YouTube. It's also you can get an HD version on Steam for free. So I've been thinking about that. But it's like.
But then I'm assuming you'll have to like download it, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And like, who wants to wait for that? Like the one I watched on YouTube was pretty. Like I thought the resolution was pretty good. So. Okay.
Cool.
And that was.
Those were my experiences this week.
Nice. Well,
You played a bunch.
Yeah, I knocked out Bravely Default finally. Finally finished that.
Right. We did a spoiler cast last night, which I'll be putting up at some point this weekend.
Yeah, so you'll see a link to that spoiler cast. It's already on our YouTube. So we talked about the game for about an hour. Yep. Heavily spoiled the game.
Was it a moment of triumph at the end, or was it kind of just like, oh, finally?
I was kind of glad the game was finally done.
Okay.
But
that's how you want it. Like a game peters out and wears you out over the course of it.
No, you don't want that. You want it to be.
I know.
Yeah, I did.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Games need to end better, but that's a shame.
Yeah, I think the general consensus we came to last night was had the game been like a quarter shorter than it was, then it probably would have been like a 5-star full-blown recommendation. As it stands, it's more of like a 3 to 4. Like I still think it's a good game. It just overstays its welcome in those final 2 chapters.
How long, like a total playtime? Like if you cut out that quarter, would it still be a totally sizable, like 30+ hour experience?
Oh, easily.
Yeah, easily. Like,
okay. Keep in mind, John was also insane and did everything. I didn't, and if you cut out that quarter, like that quarter only adds about maybe 5 hours or so. But it's just you're doing like the same thing, so it's like the worst 5 hours of your life.
Oh, that's just like sounds like a bad pacing issue.
That's the whole problem. That's the biggest problem. We talked about it at a time. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I still recommend the game, but just be warned about the ending and don't do either all the side quests at the last 2 chapters or don't play on hard. These are all lessons I learned.
Okay.
Had that been the case, my playthrough would have been at least, I think, 30 hours shorter.
I guess, I mean, it's still pretty fresh and everything. Is there any kind of rumblings as to what this team is working on now? Or they're
working on the sequel. There's a teaser for the sequel at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully lessons will be learned, and it'll be a much more tight and awesome experience next time around. I don't know.
I have hope for Bravely Second. I will definitely play Bravely Second if it comes out over here. And supposedly we're going to get it if Bravely Default sells well over here. So
I thought it was doing pretty well based on those numbers we got last week in email, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, it seems to be doing all right. So there's high odds we're going to get Bravely Second.
Okay.
Just don't know when the game actually comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I finished up South Park: Stick of Truth.
Beginning to end, like just pretty much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had started playing it the other day, or last podcast, I believe.
But like, you kind of were just past the tutorial and stuff, right? Like,
you
played most of it.
I was early in. Now I finished it. Like the game is done.
Okay.
I will tell you this: you will not expect the final couple of bosses. They came out of left field.
Okay. I'll
actually pretty much the entire like final dungeon area. I'll air quote that. Had a lot of really unexpected locations and bosses.
So John, did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Cool.
I hadn't watched South Park in a while, but there was a lot of references I still recognized and like got while playing the game.
Did this have the effect on you of making you want to go watch South Park and like catch up again?
Kinda.
Okay.
At least for some of the episodes.
Like, yeah, I hadn't watched any episodes in quite a while, and this kind of got me to be like, what happened last season? Oh, there's Game of Thrones parody? All right, let's watch that. Oh, man. This show's still pretty great, so, okay. Cool.
Yeah, no, highly recommend it. I might, at some point, go through it again, because if you know what to expect, you can jam through that pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
And try a different class. Like, I don't think you have to try all 4 classes. Yeah, you don't have to try all 4 classes to get all the achievements, but I think there's like 1 or 2 classes in particular you need for achievements.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing Thief. I guess I hadn't really considered how my abilities are all centered around that.
The only one I can think of right now is Jew. That's the only one that specifically has an achievement tied to it.
Okay. There. Yep.
Other than that,
yeah. Okay.
I played Yoshi's New Island.
Hey, I have that game.
Fuck that game.
Oh, what? I thought there was a bit of a negative tone in that statement, but what's wrong with Yoshi's New Island? It's got a big egg, it's rolling over stuff.
It's not good.
Wow.
Just one quick thing I'd like to point out. If Nintendo puts new in the title of their games, it's usually not a good game.
It was like one time it worked, the first DS Mario game.
First time it worked, and then
I thought the Wii U version of New Super Mario Brothers Wii U was good, but like Luigi was It was only good single player, and then like all the other ones are also This one is, if we're gonna say like a rating of like the new games, if we're gonna count this in the like best to worst new games, this is easily the worst of the new games.
Jeez. I guess I'm just looking at what else the developer Arzest did, and it's like Time Travelers, Street Pass Me Plaza, and We Play Motion. So nothing that would really lead me to think they're awesome at platform gameplay.
Yeah, but here's the weird thing: like it's made by the company is a bunch of people who worked on like the Panzer Dragoon games. I think the art director for Sonic the Hedgehog is in there.
Okay.
The original one like that. So like, there's a couple guys with good pedigree, but this game is.
There's like a Yoshi sled. I saw it in the TV commercial.
This thing has a TV commercial? Oh my god.
It does! I've been seeing it all around. It's weird.
There's a Yoshi's New Island themed 3DS XL.
Yeah. That was part of this ad, too. There's people playing it at like a ski resort or something. I don't know. They're having fun.
All right. I'll ask you guys both this. Did you play the original? Like either on the GBA or like the digital 3DS?
I played the GBA port, and I wasn't huge into it.
I have only played the DS one.
Okay. The DS one is like not as good as the original, but is way better than this.
What's wrong? Like, what happened?
Okay, all the stages are like ridiculously simple, except for the secret stages, which are like ROM hack difficult.
What? Okay.
So here's if like I'm on chapter 6 now. I'm almost done the game. I've got 9.
There's only 6 worlds.
Yeah, 6 worlds. Same as unless there's a hidden 7th one. Doesn't look like it.
I don't believe there is.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty of the normal stages ranks anywhere from 1 to 4. The difficulty of the special stages ranks from 9 to 10.
So there's just a giant gulf of difficulty in there. Like no 6 through 9 levels exist.
How does this stack compared to like a Kirby difficulty, or
I was going to ask kind of about Epic,
like a legendary Starfy difficulty?
I don't have Starfy to use as a comparison.
Okay.
But
it's
Kirby,
easier than Kirby.
Yeah, it's easier than Kirby until you get to the secret stages. Then it's just like, what is happening?
Okay.
Okay. Because like I knew Kirby Epic Yarn was supposed to be really easy, but people still love that game because it's just charming and like none of it.
It just seems like you're like so used to this easy breezy game, and then you get to this horrible stage, and then the game like slaps you or something.
Or just like this tiny yarn character pulls out a shit or something. You're just like, what?
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like here, like seriously, like I beat a boss. Like the bosses are like hilariously easy, and then suddenly it's like, all right, here's a stage where you have to bullet bill jump all the way up a mountain. And the only platforms that you can rest on disappear once you jump off them.
All right.
That stage, like stage 5 special, took me an hour and a half to finish last night.
Man, they're like, Yoshi, he has to climb up this mountain. He's got a baby on his back. Like, this can't be a worse scenario. It's like a perfect storm.
These are
like,
nightmare levels that, yeah. I don't know.
It was just so weird. Like,
is it like a fun difficult, or is it just like It's
like the first couple were like fun difficult, were a bit obnoxious to 100%, and then like the past couple, like the Poochie stage and that one I just described, are just like, this is not fun. This is not fun. Why am I doing this?
So, just sticking to the core easy levels, like, is that just the opposite end of just like, this is mind-numbingly boring? Like, I barely want to walk to the right to see stuff.
Kinda like. I have to go back and play the original Yoshi Island to like remember some things, but the way they hide like the stars and the flowers and everything feels different than what I remember.
Okay. Like more obscure or more obvious?
Yeah, like you'll have to be like, okay, I've got to jump around in this specific location to see if there's a hidden item block that appears that holds the one star I'm missing. Or I'll go through a stage and be like, all right, I only have 25 stars. Where's the last 5 stars? Like they only give you exactly enough stars to beat a number of the stages 100%. They did a couple good things. One thing is you don't have to like 100% a stage in your first go. You can do like, oh, I got maximum stars and I got maximum red coins or maximum flowers.
Okay.
But like, there's like small tweaks that are really good, and then there's like some other tweaks that are just stupid. You know the roulette at the end of a stage?
Yeah.
You know how they'd usually make you go to a bonus minigame?
Nope.
I'm trying to think. Is it kind of like Mario Bros. 2 style, like slot machine, or
kind of? They'll be like, "Oh, you do this, you have a chance to win 1-ups and items."
Okay, yeah.
Is it like Super Mario Land 2, where you play the claw game,
or Super Mario Land 1, where it's like the ladder is moving and you're on the left?
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
And then you press. It's like.
I was just like, yeah. Okay. Sidebar: Super Mario Land series is like baller.
They're pretty great.
It's so good. Yeah.
Like there's one stage where you go to the moon in the second one. It's really weird.
You totally do.
Gravity is super strange in that stage. Okay.
Mario is the final boss.
Yep. But now we're talking about better Nintendo games.
Yeah, you are really talking about much better Nintendo
games. Isn't Super Mario Land 3 like just Wario Land?
That's what it's called. It's called Wario Land Super Mario Land 3, and then they created the Wario Land series and stopped the Land series.
Yeah.
Right.
But okay, so does the art style and music charm in any way?
Oh my god. Okay, so the art style is basically Yoshi's story art.
Okay.
Which, if you like that, then it's good. I was never really a big fan of Yoshi's story.
A lot of people weren't, so that's fair.
So yeah, like the art style's in, but the music, oh my god.
It's
I don't know
like
if that's good or bad.
Chalkboard, scratchy, bad.
Disgustingly awful.
Like repetitive and.
Here, I'm gonna play you. I have it in my hand right now.
Okay.
Is it just someone yelling?
Now I'm gonna play the opening theme song to this game.
All right.
I just want you to hear what they think is a good idea for the opening theme song for Yoshi's New Island.
YouTube's gonna be like taking it down.
Of course, exactly, yeah. Just give it a second to load up here because I was on the stage select.
Okay, I don't know what to expect. Like, okay,
that doesn't sound that bad. Like,
What?
What is
that? No!
I told you.
Were those Yoshis singing or something?
And this goes on for a while.
Okay, so you can turn that. You can stop that.
Just those high squeaky sounds. Are those supposed to be Yoshis? Like,
I think they're like clown horns.
Like that started out okay. I was like, all right, we got.
Yeah, it's got this tribal beat or whatever. That's fine.
Then...
Sharp turn into just squeaky. Okay.
And
yes.
a huge chunk of the songs in the game are either like super mellow and boring, like more mellow than Kirby's Epic Yarn, which is impressive in its own right.
Yeah, that game is like mellow incarnate, like.
Yeah, but like good mellow, like chilling out, just kind of like just this looks nice and colorful and
like that, right, like you're laying in bed playing basically in bed. That game is a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whereas
but like the music
like
in this one can be like either put you to sleep or drive you nuts with those weird like squeaky toy kazoo mixes.
Squeaky toy kazoo, great. That's all right. I mean, it's definitely gotten a pretty negative critical reception so far. I don't know. I wasn't sure why, because I'm just like, okay, it looks like a Nintendo thing, jumping and coins and all that, but...
Well, I can't wait to finish DK and dive right into that.
You made a better choice playing DK, I'm just going to tell you that now.
Okay. Nintendo platformer of choice for this week is
There's like
DK.
There's a couple good songs in there. There's like remixes of the old songs. They're all with those weird squeaky toy sounds.
So just bad remixes.
Yeah, they're bad
remixes. Remember that song
one or two are good. One or two are good, but the majority bad.
Yeah.
That stupid, obnoxious. Oh, you died 3 times in a game. Here, have amazing power up to beat the stage.
Wait, it only takes 3 times because in Mario
it only takes 3
like
times. I screwed up in the stage 3 times, and then it's like, here, I'm gonna throw an item at your face. Grab it and use it. I'm like, no, I don't want this. Go away. It like actually threw it at me. I had to dodge it.
Weird. It's like, no, we're trying to help. It's like, okay. And
then, of course, the special stages don't have that. That's the best part. The special stages where you would actually need them don't. So.
Brutal.
But like, it's weird because like the main stage is so like pathetically easy. I have like 380 lives, but the only time I actually use them is when I'm on the special stages, which you can also pause and just restart the stage anyways and not lose a life. So
lives are a little superfluous then. But...
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
There's hitbox issues where like you hit an enemy but it doesn't count right. I've fallen through platforms that I'm not supposed to. I've had items fall through platforms I'm not supposed to. Like
falling through platforms in a platformer has to be the worst thing.
You know how you're supposed to get 100% by finding all the coins and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've had items not appear in stages.
So it's like there is no 100th coin.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the secret difficulty, and this game's actually incredible.
No, fuck this game. I am usually pro Nintendo. I don't want the people who made this game to make another game.
Oh man!
Whoa! Holy
Arzest getting called out.
Put that on the back of the box.
I highly recommend not buying this game. Yoshi's Island's coming out on the Wii U in like a week or 2. Get that instead. Find the NES, the Super Nintendo one. Play anything but this one.
Okay.
Please.
Yoshi's Story on N64, worth another look in comparison to Yoshi's New Island. Maybe.
Okay, hang on though.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it worth it if you kind of contextualize the purchase by realizing that if you buy it, that's like 100 coins on Club Nintendo, and original just Yoshi is only 200 coins, and then you can have that on your Wii U.
Ooh, you're right.
That's half of Yoshi.
Club Nintendo sweetening the deal.
It would be cheaper to just buy it for like $5 or $10.
I'm just saying, but then you'd only have one Yoshi. This is 2 Yoshis. All right, how about this? I looked even further. You don't have to get Yoshi. For an extra 50 coins, you can get Bonsai Barber.
You know what, Soul?
Soul.
For either your Wii or Wii U. So that's choices.
Whoa. All right. I have one more. Like, I know you're not a fan of the 3D. Do you conceive it being cool looking at all in this game? Or?
I don't even know if this. I haven't even tried. There you go.
Okay.
There's a Squeak toy again.
Because, like, I mean, 3D Land and stuff actually makes cool use of it. Like, maybe it's
yeah,
like,
Nintendo knows where it's at.
Multiple scrolling, crazy colors. Like, maybe it's got a little charm to it. I don't know. Or maybe it just makes those.
Want to talk about your other two games?
Hang on, there's one last thing I forgot. When I loaded the game up, I just forgot about it.
Okay.
You know how the roulette at the end, you know how it would lead you, we got cut off during this.
Oh, yeah.
The roulette at the end, usually in the original games, if you got the flower on the roulette, you would go to a bonus minigame, win all these items that you can use to help you through the stages.
Okay.
First off, the items are no longer in the game.
What do you mean? Like, the items are no longer...
So in the original Yoshi's Island, there were items you could use that would give you, like, bonus stars so you wouldn't have to go hunting around to get 100%.
Oh, okay.
You could get like watermelon seeds, so you could have a weapon. You could get extra eggs. You could have an item that would turn everyone into stars. You would have an item that would help you find all the red coins, stuff like that.
Okay.
Those don't exist in this game.
Okay.
The red coins, you cannot tell them apart anymore. They look all the same. And instead on the roulette, what you do is if you win the roulette, you get what's called medals.
Okay.
You get the amount of medals for however many flowers you found in the stage. And you need to collect 30 per world to unlock a bonus minigame for lives.
Oh.
And it is entirely possible that you will go through each world and never have enough medals for it. So if you want to unlock those minigames, you have to grind stages to win the roulette.
Is that what you've been doing, and that's why you have hundreds of lives, or?
That has helped me have a couple extra lives, but yeah.
Okay. One more question, because this game's just making me sad. If I'm just wanting to finish the game, how long is it going to take me? Like, I don't want to 100% it, because I'm not a crazy person. I just want to play the levels and get to the credits.
I'm actually curious how long I've been playing this now. I'm going to double check that. But if you were just jamming through the stages, didn't care about 100%, and didn't want to unlock like the secret stages and that, you would probably knock this out in like, I kind of want to say 6 hours, but I think that might be even a little... No, that's actually probably... No, I think people are already speedrunning it under that, so it's probably possible.
So, longer than Yoshi's Story. It's got that going for it.
Yoshi's Story was built around replayability. I wouldn't say this is built around replayability.
Like, this is longer than Metal Gear Ground Zeroes.
It's the core mission, technically speaking. There's more to that game, but...
I've technically played for 14 hours, and that's in the final world after 100%ing everything. And keep in mind, an hour and a half of that alone was one stage.
All right.
And there's one last thing I forgot to mention again. Sorry, there's just so much about this fucking game that upsets me.
Right.
You know how there's the vehicle transformation in the old games?
No.
Okay, so there were certain areas you could transform into a vehicle, and you do like a little mini thing for like getting around the stage or getting items or something like that.
Okay.
They're now predetermined areas, and they all use gyro controls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you saw that sled you were talking about. You have to tilt the system to move the sled.
Oh, yeah, that did seem to be implied in what they were doing, but they were having fun in the commercial.
Now I'm super curious if how the 3D is, because in the recent Mario and Luigi game, during the gyro stuff they turned the 3D off. Like they knew that doesn't work, and I'm curious if they did that again. So I'll have to take a look.
I don't know. I'm seeing in the chat by Comment Strider, John, the items were not in the DS Yoshi's Island either. And same with the red coins. It's not the first game where you can't tell the difference. Okay, so fair enough on that.
So this was a mistake
So
made.
it seems I'm going to be going at this game with a way different perspective than you.
Yeah.
With less.
I kind of have a troll for this game. Once I'm done it, like I'm shelving it and probably only going to play it if it comes up in a stream.
Sad state of affairs. But hey. Faxanadu.
2 more games on this list.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Faxanadu is one of my favorite words to say. What is that, though?
It is a action-adventure game by Hudson Soft.
Okay.
You are an elf who's fighting all these dwarves that have been transformed by a meteorite.
That's what usually, yeah.
So you're trying to save
What were they transformed into?
monsters, dragons, stuff like that. Mostly dragons, actually.
Okay.
Oh man, so like they were dwarves. Like dwarves is a step up from what they currently are. That's a rough life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dragons.
It's an interesting game, but it's got some you can tell it's clearly dated, because once you die, you lose all your experience points and money.
Wow.
So it's a roguelike.
Sort of.
Kinda.
What you do is you get enough experience to get a new title, and then you go to a priest, talk to the priest, and he'll say, okay, now your rank is like aspirant or like warrior or like.
Okay, so like in real life.
Yeah, so they give you this title. So now, whenever you die, you get a predetermined number of experience points and money back whenever you die.
Mm.
So it's a little weird, and there's a lot of like dungeons that have nothing in them. So you can.
What do you mean? Like you get to the end of the dungeon, it's just like, hey, good job. There's no treasure chest or anything. Like, thanks for coming, but.
Kind of, yeah. Like you just kind of went in for experience and stuff. There's one dungeon that has an item that's supposed to like double your attack power, but because of a glitch, it actually halves your attack power.
That sounds terrible. Like,
yeah.
And in no way is that like, no, if you elect to have this handicap, you
Wait,
get.
Is that actually a glitch, or is it just like a poison mushroom-esque?
That's actually a glitch. It the game says this is supposed to double your attack power, but they fucked up.
Okay. Awesome.
I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it was a little frustrating because it's one of those games that has like the bad enemy placement. Like you walk in a door and you are immediately hit if you don't like hit the jump button before it fades in.
So you have to know that something's there, like just process,
Yeah.
Repetitive. Yeah.
And it's like you open a door with a key, and then if you die in that room, you have to open that door again with another key, but the key you used is gone. Which sucks because some of the keys are like dungeon items, so you have to go to another dungeon to get that key and then go back. And it uses passwords that are like up to 60 characters long.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
So that's what that note part of the instruction manual is for.
Yeah, and like some of the characters look like other characters, so like the N and H look the same, O and 0 look the same. I more than once screwed up my password.
I'm just looking at the old box art. I don't know why, but it has this like little slogan: "Daggers and wing boots, mantras and monsters await you." And she's like, okay, that's what I
Words
want.
to live by.
Yeah, it's just there's like a little crest and it says Faxanadu. Okay, so you were
What is
playing
this
this one.
for?
NES.
NES.
Okay.
Hudson. How early in their career was this? Is this like one of their first things ever? Or?
I think it's apparently it's Hudson, but like Falcom are the guys who made it, and Falcom's best known for the YS series, the Ys.
Okay.
So I feel like this predates Ys. And Ys is a much better series, so I think they learned their lessons.
Are they still making games, or are they done?
An Ys game came out like 2 months ago
Okay.
on the Vita.
Oh man, it looks like they'd already made like Bomberman and all sorts of stuff. Load Runner. So never mind.
I'm just dropping shit now after I pulled out that Ys game.
Video game references.
Video game references.
Oh, 1987. They also made a Mickey Mouse game that year, so cool.
Is that
Okay.
Mickey Mousecapade?
It just says Mickey Mouse.
Okay, never mind.
Anyway, okay, so Faxanadu, you finished it though, despite having weird losing experience and all that.
It was all right. Just like a couple things that remind you it's a very old game.
Mm.
And then on top of that, I played The Goonies 2.
Yeah, this is the one I was most curious about. So, was this also on NES? Is this?
Yep.
Okay. Does it have that rad song from the Goonies movie?
What, We're the Goonies, yeah, 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 or whatever?
Good enough.
The
for
Goonies.
me?
The Goonies theme song is like a chiptune version, a song in that game,
Okay.
or a
awesome.
variant of it.
That's all I need. But how's the core gameplay? Like, what do you do in the Goonies 2? Is it just like, is this like moments after the Goonies movie ends that picks up and this is a sequel?
I think the villains of the main. Keep in mind, I have not seen the Goonies. I've only seen bits.
What?
Why does everyone give me shit for this?
I mean, it's not like you need to see this movie. It's just like you are of the generation where I just assumed it would have happened by now. Like it just would have been on.
I haven't seen Goonies.
That's fair, I guess. Like
Why is
again,
it
it's
fair
not
for
like
him?
you don't need to see it. But I just thought that would have happened. Like you're just like sitting somewhere. It's like, I went to a birthday party and someone turned on the Goonies. Like
No.
I just thought that would have happened by
Never
now.
happened. When I went to a birthday party, it was like Suburban Commando or Jurassic Park or Ninja Turtles that was on.
Okay.
And I lived in an area where we only had 2 TV channels, so it was never on TV.
Okay.
So
I mean,
like,
sorry to jump on you like that.
no, it's just funny because like I had the same conversation with a friend yesterday.
We're just like, wait, you've never seen the Goonies? Richard Donner's The Goonies? What are you talking about?
Then I was like, 2 TV channels. Like, oh, okay. Because I saw.
Do you know about like Indiana Jones? Have you seen those or anything?
Yeah, I love Indiana Jones.
Okay. It's like right in that same kind of ballpark. But
yeah, no, but those were on the channels I had.
Okay.
I watched
he had the Indiana Jones channel. He didn't have the Goonies channel.
Exactly.
Like, give him a break.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. All right. So, what happens? I guess I'll figure out if this is a sequel to the movie. Is there a treasure-filled ship that already is sailing out to sea?
People on Skype are now giving me shit about not seeing the Goonies. God damn it, people.
Okay.
It takes place after the movie.
Okay.
Not directly, but like the main villain from the movie is back in like cutscenes only.
I'm trying to think who that would be. Like that wacky family of
Vitellis, yeah.
Like Joe Pantoliano and like Robert Davey. Okay.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of like mobsters trying to get rid of the kids. Like 6 of the Goonies have been kidnapped, along with a person named Annie. So you're trying to save Annie.
Okay. Okay.
So you're Mikey. You're the Goonie named Mikey, and you have to go around with your yo-yo trying to save everyone in like a Metroid. I guess in this point, yeah, a Metroid-style game. You have a grid-based map, and you're supposed to go around finding all these items, going into rooms, searching for like in an adventure-style area, trying to find hidden doors and all this other stuff. It's kind of cool. It sucks that if you get game over, like you continue from where you were, but you lose all your like keys and all your like numerical items. So like if you had, let's say, 10 bombs, you're back down to 0, but you've still got your yo-yo or your boomerang.
Okay, I'm just reading.
What else do you need? Like
exactly.
Yo-yos and boomerangs.
Like that's the best.
I mean, I mostly played the Goonies like Atari game, like the port of that first game, so I don't know if this is in any way similar at all. Like, it was pretty linear stuff.
Goonies 1, I believe, was like on a computer system, and was kind of similar-ish.
Okay.
But this is more like, I call this more of an adventure game. Because
okay.
I thought you said it was a Metroidvania game.
It is a Metroidvania-style game, but at the same time, like, it's so super non-linear, and like, you go in one door and you'll end up on the other side of the map suddenly.
It's like Pac-Man.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't sound anything like Pac-Man, but okay. This is kind of like Pac-Man.
What are you talking about? Video Pac-Man, you go off the right side, you come in on the left side.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Because it exists on a sphere.
But it's like a single
know
screen. Okay. Cool.
I don't know. Goonies was an alright game. It was just like super convoluted how you had to figure out certain things.
So you're using a game guide for some of this stuff, or?
Yeah, this one I definitely had to.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, you've got to go in this one room and you've got to knock on the wall with your fist. That way you get an item that will let you find the next Goonie.
Maybe you're using a game guide because you haven't seen the movie, and if you had seen the movie, you'd know where everything is.
Whereas I'm trying to think, like, is there a scene in the movie where someone knocks on a wall, so it's like, oh, obviously, if you see the Goonies, like, this is the part in the movie where he hits the wall and finds a secret thing.
It's not related to Goonies, the movie, at all.
Now I'm wondering if there's any like licensed games where it's like if you know like the movie or the show, that'll actually help you progress from like a platforming standpoint.
The Great Gatsby game.
What?
There's a Great Gatsby game?
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
No.
It's like a Flash game that's turned into like an NES game of The Great Gatsby. You run around like throwing your hat as a weapon.
Yeah,
the final boss is the giant glasses from the cover of the book.
Yeah,
like you're fighting like in front of the lighthouse.
The ultimate realization of F. Scott Fitzgerald's amazing.
From the billboard.
There's a glass. Yeah.
No, the eyes that are watching.
No, I know them. That's a theme in the book. That's insane.
Yeah, go look up Great Gatsby game when you're done. It's
nice to
short.
see you, old sport,
like
and he's throwing his hat. Take that, literature. Amazing.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay. Video games for the week. That's all we've done, right? That's it? Okay.
Let's move on to news.
News. So much news now. I thought we didn't have enough news.
Alright, here's the big thing. Facebook bought Oculus.
What? Oh my god. Are you serious?
Video games are over.
Yeah, Kickstarter lied.
pretty much everyone's reaction.
That I know. The reaction was kind of interesting. Of just like, what do you expect from like Kickstarter businesses? Are they supposed to stay indie forever? Like, are they supposed to?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, how do you guys feel about it? Like, are you on the thing of like, now I hate Oculus, I've given up hope on life?
No, but I mean, the only thing is like, I always kind of want a new player to enter the scene and become the next big thing, not get bought by the big thing. So I was kind of hoping they would like, I don't know, like just with, I guess with Carmack and stuff, I thought they were kind of, we have a super team of people making the next crazy thing and they're going to make it the thing themselves. And now they have all that Facebook money. So
yeah, I think that's the thing is like the need for the proper capital.
Yeah, to make it like actually.
I think what people are super worried about though is it's like, but this was supposed to be video games and it's cool to hate Facebook. And like, now Facebook's going to make it like not video games.
There is some like generalized, actually like justifiable hate for Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why some people are upset about it. The overall reaction is way overblown, but I think it could do a lot of good because now they've got all that capital, all like the Facebook power and personnel and like the ability to work on it. So
yeah,
I think if anything, Oculus will just suddenly start taking huge strides forward because of this. It just sucks because it's weird of all companies that face.
I saw this. I'm just laughing to myself because I just remembered this comic I saw on Twitter.
Okay.
Justin Timberlake from The Social Network.
Yeah.
First panel, he's saying $1 million is not cool. You know what is cool? And then second panel, he's just wearing the Oculus Rift.
Yeah. I saw the exact same thing going around. I don't know. It's like, I wasn't a Kickstarter backer or anything. I've been kind of generally like, man, yeah, that's a cool thing, and I can't wait for that. But it's maybe just a little, like, I mean, like Notch's reaction right after was just like, all right, we're done. Like, Minecraft's not going to happen. Like, this is gross. I'm creeped out. So, I mean, it's already kind of starting to affect developers a lot. Like, I don't know how keen some smaller developers are going to be to kind of sign on now, but yeah, it's I don't know. There's been a lot of good kind of summations of the reaction and whatnot. Like I read Patrick Klepek's piece on Giant Bomb. It was just kind of going down, kind of like, well, yeah, just kind of going through a timeline of kind of people reacting and like what do you expect? Like, you know, the naivety of expecting companies to stay small and stay independent forever, even when like that much money's on the table. So yeah, I guess, did the specifics matter? It was $400 million. And then 1.6 billion in stocks. So.
Oh, I had just heard $2 billion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the overall like value of it, but it was just like.
Which didn't they just spend like 14 billion
on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
They've been acquiring a lot of strange things.
And then they did Instagram a couple years ago for
that
$1 billion.
Made more sense, but yeah, Facebook's just buying stuff, and I guess they're looking at this as like a long-term investment, like 5-10 years from now, maybe it'll pay off, and wearable technology is the new thing and all that. Did we talk about like Morpheus last week, like the Sony thing?
We did. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, because GDC
I think it came up.
All
we
right.
talked about it.
So, like, do you think in any way this is kind of like, hey, sell out now because there's competition in the VR marketplace now? Like, we might not actually be the next big thing. Like, it actually just makes sense from a business perspective for Oculus to get what they can now before it's...
Maybe, because if you because Sony has everything to back them up, right? They have all that money, and like Oculus had been kind of, I don't want to say dragging their feet, but we've heard of Oculus for years now.
It's weird how long we've been seeing like.
And then Sony just, I'm sure Sony's been working on it for a while, but they just like come out of the water and it's like, oh hey, we're already a higher resolution, boom.
Yeah, so maybe this like totally makes sense for that team to kind of be like, hey, like we got this name buzz right now, and we're having a lot of trouble making this a consumer product. So yes, we will accept this offer for sure.
I think one good thing about it is, I think VR has the ability to definitely be just beyond games.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Facebook can definitely help make that happen.
Hmm.
That
maybe you're saying kind of augmented reality kind of maps.
In like non-media senses or whatever, right? Which Sony probably wouldn't look for because they're just they're probably focusing on movies and games. I'm just spitballing here. Whereas Facebook is kind of they deal in social, like that's that's everything, right? They deal in life, kind of.
No, okay.
So I could see Facebook making the Oculus like more than what it currently was as just a gaming peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and I guess, worst case scenario, the Oculus never becomes a gaming peripheral. Well, now we have Morpheus. Like, who really cares what you're strapping to your face as long as it's working and it's virtual reality?
Sure. And it seems like kind of
I know some people are also upset because of like backing the Kickstarter. They probably feel like they got gypped of like backing a really good idea that could make them lots of money.
Right.
Because they like now that the Kickstarter is done, they got their products. They have no real need. Oculus has no real need to ever do anything with those guys ever again. So I know
the thing I was hearing with that and the weird like double standard was people were getting upset of like, well, I backed this thing and I gave them my money and then they just sold out. Like I didn't back a product for them to just get bought out by someone else. And then the argument against that was, well, you guys obviously don't understand how Kickstarter works. Like we're just trying to get the product like off the ground.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not a shareholder at that point in any capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, yeah, the Giant Bomb article does kind of look into some of the word use there. Like you're basically just donating money. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I find it weird though. People are asking for their money back. Like, how long ago did that Oculus like Kickstarter end? At least a year.
Oh, it's easily like it's got to be over 2 years ago.
Yeah, but people are like actively demanding their money back. It's like, why? You've got what you were like promised to get.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got a dev kit of this thing, so it's kind of a.
Like it's a weird sense of entitlement that it's like you clearly are misunderstanding what Kickstarter is. Kickstarter is not a store.
Mm-hmm.
You do not so.
I guess maybe like part of that is supposed to be like it's supposed to feel grassroots and small and underground. Like it's like this couldn't even exist if it didn't have our like $2 million. But then when you start hearing like, well, now the big boys are interested in billions of dollars, you're just kind of like, aw, this was supposed to be a little thing. Like we were supposed to change the world.
That's the big thing, and specifically because it's Facebook is now making it not a little thing.
Yeah,
just kind of amplifying that feeling.
Big players. So yeah, that's obviously the kind of biggest story that came out last week that shook the world. But there's been smaller, video game stuff, more specific.
Well, last thing, right?
Yeah.
In all honesty, if you still love virtual reality and you want it to remain, you want to be part of a small community, not a ton of people are playing with their virtual boys. You could get in on that.
Get the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, start playing.
Find a forum that still gets updated. I'm sure there's at least one with Virtual Boy enthusiasts. They're probably out there.
And get your Mario Tennis on in its original form, red and black. Yep. And hey, there's a horror movie called Oculus coming out soon. What does this mean for its box office potential? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It's going up against WiiU 2.
Oculus Rifts.
Oculus Rifts. Okay. Ubisoft.
All right, so last week we were like, hey, leaked images and stuff of the new Assassin's Creed coming out. And
like
then
Paris,
Ubisoft was like, okay, well, everyone found out about it. We were probably going to wait till E3, but yeah, Assassin's Creed Unity is the thing. And then they showed like a teaser trailer of kind of just the environment of Paris, which I took from that, we're back to really tall buildings.
Okay. Following his alpha game footage. Let's zoom ahead. Yeah, big old cathedrals and palaces.
And then they also announced Assassin's Creed Unity, that's the one coming to current-gen consoles. Assassin's Creed Comet they also announced, which is the one coming to past-gen consoles, so like 360 and whatnot. Yeah. Which, that one, we seem to like actually know some facts about. I just kind of briefly skimmed the article. It's going to take place in 1758, around there. You're a sailor named Shay, which continues the nautical theme from Black Flag.
Okay.
So it seems like this is how they continue making pirate games.
Is this the one that's supposed to have you play as a Templar?
Yeah, that's the title of this Kotaku story.
Okay.
And Assassin's Creed Comet, while you play as a Templar.
Right, and it's apparently going to be like a cross between 3 and Freedom Cry, which was the DLC from 4, and you're going to see characters from those two show up in here and stuff. So, Assassin's Creed is no longer annualized; it's 2 games a year now. It seems.
Great.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
one's more pirate themed, so it's kind of different. So
how much you want to bet this one coming to past-gen consoles makes its way onto current-gen consoles?
What?
There was apparently an image floating around that seemed to indicate that.
Okay.
I'm actually going to shoehorn one of my news stories right after this one then, because we're talking about Assassin's Creed.
All right, do it.
If you're like me and you're just like, I don't care about Assassin's Creed, if only this was more Lord of the Rings themed, I would feel super good about everything. Monolith, creators of Condemned and Condemned 2, some of my favorite bludgeoning games ever made, they're making a game called Shadow of Mordor that I just found out about this week. And you guys might totally know about it, bored, whatever. I watched some footage, and it basically looks like Assassin's Creed, but you're playing as like a ranger with wraith powers, and you're fighting.
There was a Penny Arcade article about this.
There was a comic about it, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" Like, I know you're making fun of it right now because you're like, "Oh, they just jacked Assassin's Creed," but I actually like Lord of the Rings. What's going on? And then I was like, "Oh, okay, he's like fighting orcs and stuff," and I don't know, it looked kind of cool. Maybe a bit of that Arkham combat, too. He's juggling a bunch of different stuff.
Oh, great. We need more games with that combat.
We need way more games with that kind of combo-driven stuff. I don't know. Monolith. That was the main thing that made me want to mention it, because those guys have made cool games in the past, so hopefully that'll be a thing that is worth talking about eventually. But yeah, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed, but Tolkien, so finally. And yeah, I guess I also added this news story. You guys remember Leland Yee? Do you remember that dude?
Yep.
Ish.
Sorta? Okay. I guess his big video game-centric thing was in 2005. He was kind of proposing a bill that would kind of change video game ratings and all that stuff. He's not a fan of violent video games, been an outspoken critic about all that stuff for a long time. That dude's been implicated in, like, gun trafficking conspiracy. And he may be forced out of office because of it, and video game enthusiasts everywhere are kind of just really pointing out all this irony and hypocrisy and all this great stuff, and it's kind of awesome. Like, dude, in it, like, you know, hates video game violence, kind of getting some kickbacks from real-world violence. Amazing. So I just thought that was worth a mention as, yeah, like, wow, what a great turnaround. I don't know. Good stuff. Oh, this next one's mine too. Ollie Ollie, you guys played that one yet on the Vitas? You got the?
Yeah, it's coming to PC, right?
It is. It's coming to all sorts of stuff: PS3, PS4, Linux, Mac, PC.
Man, what game isn't coming to PS3, PS4, and Vita these days? Sheesh.
Oh, I know, but I mean, it's just weird because you guys have Vitas, so you could have been playing it right now. But
could have.
Yeah. Right. The developer of that game, Roll7, started talking about their next game called Not a Hero, which is an isometric action game. Polygon, I read their kind of summary of it, and it sounds kind of cool. Like, I hope it, like, they're talking about mantling over stuff and running and different kind of, like, motion.
That sounds like things a hero would do.
Yeah, but I guess the character is a pretty seedy dude. It's just like, we need someone to kill these guys. We're going to hire this guy. So you're kind of an anti-hero, I guess. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Bad guy. But I mean, I really liked the sense of just kind of speed and kind of fluid motion, and also just how quickly you could restart in Ollie Ollie. So I'm wondering if they'll kind of apply some of that snappy, fast-paced business to shooting stuff, which could be cool. So yeah, Devolver is looking to publish that relatively soon. That's it for my little news diversion. So sorry for.
All right. The FTL update is next week.
What's in that one?
So first off, it's the iPad version for $10.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it's all the extra stuff coming to that is a free update on the PC version. I want to say April 3rd is the date I recall.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
April 3rd. Yeah. So there's new weapons, new bots, new ships, tons of new stuff. And if you have it on PC, which if you're someone who knows what the Humble Bundle is, you most likely have that game now, because it's all over the place. That's free, and then you can also get it on your iPad now if you want. So I'm excited. I'm going to play some of that next week. Woo! FTL is great. I think there's new music as well coming. That's cool. And then the last news story I have is they announced the list of the Game Boy Advance games that are coming to Wii U, as well as their release dates. So we can just run through these. April 3rd, Advance Wars, which I'm glad I just bought that cart after wanting to play that for the longest time.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. And by the way, both of those were $8. And Metroid Fusion also $8.
That's the one I'm kind of
Nathan,
like...
you were excited about that.
Well, it's just like kind of perfect timing because I've been thinking about playing Metroid Fusion again, and it's like, hey, big screen, and also I can do something with my Wii U. Haven't done that in a while. So, but yeah. Sorry, next lineup of games. Kirby and the Amazing
So the following week, April 10th, we got Kirby and the Amazing Mirror for $7. WarioWare Inc. Micro Games for I don't know how much.
Yeah, weird. That's the only one that does not have a price next to it. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Maybe they just forgot to do it.
10, 20?
Maybe.
I mean,
$1 billion.
I mean, there's a dollar sign in the title, so, you know, Wario wants his money.
That clearly means they get to pay more money for it.
Yeah, I think so. Wario needs his cut. But, okay.
April 17th is Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Wii U and 3DS.
Have they said which version it is, though? Is it the GBA one or is it the NES one?
Well,
I'm assuming it's the GBA one. These are all GBA games.
Is the old one, but that might just be them. Who knows what it actually is.
And that's $5. F-Zero Maximum Velocity is $7. And Golden Sun, woo, that game rocks, is $8.
I feel like if it's only $5, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the NES version, because that's usually the price for the NES games on Virtual Console.
Why is that one coming to 3DS and the others aren't?
Because NES is on Virtual Console on 3DS, but not GBA.
Maybe. But all of these are GBA games. So maybe it is the GBA version.
I'm just excited that Advance Wars is actually getting some more love again.
And then April 24th is Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
the better version than Yoshi's New Island.
For $8.
Yep. So that's my recommendation. Don't buy Yoshi's New Island.
And the question I had is, are they going to be playable on the TV, or do you think it's going to be like restricted to the Wii, like the gamepad?
I'm not sure, because like that, if you blow that up, it's going to look kind of like garbage.
But
the Game Boy Player plays on a TV.
They've done that tons of times, but I could just, like, the fact that these aren't coming to the 3DS for whatever weird reason, I could see them also making a weird decision and just saying only on the screen, small screen.
It is incredibly weird that the GBA is coming to the Wii U, but not the 3DS.
Yeah, this portable game system now available for the home console instead of the new portable console, which, yeah, missed opportunities abound. What is Maximum Velocity? Is that the first GBA one?
Yeah, that was the first GBA one that came out as a launch title. So it plays a lot like the Super Nintendo one.
Okay.
And just before we get into questions, I wanted to bring this question up that we got from somebody, just because it relates. Matt wrote in saying, since the GBA Virtual Console is starting, what games would you like to see on it? So what's your GBA games, guys?
Those Castlevania ones.
Castlevania, easily.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I would have been saying Golden Sun, and they got that.
So what about the second Golden Sun? Isn't that supposed to be good too?
They could do that too, yeah. I'm just happy the first one's there at least.
They'll finally bring Rhythm Tengoku to this territory via Virtual Console for the Wii. It's kind of like Earthbound, like how it was there first. It'll be like that.
That would be pretty good.
I'd be into that.
I'm trying to think of my favorite GBA games. They could do some of the Fire Emblems.
Yeah. I mean, just keep going with Metroid. Zero Mission was really, really good too. So that'd be cool. Minish Cap is really good.
They already released that.
On 3DS or
Print Ambassador,
yeah. It's on the Ambassador 3DS.
Really, just put the Ambassador games on. The Wii U.
Well, I mean,
I need to be special. Okay, I bought that thing on launch.
Well, I mean, we've already got like Yoshi's Island coming there. I think. Well, I'm sure Fire Emblem at some point will be there too.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think what else.
Actually, now that I think about it, there was the second Fire Emblem GBA one. It was an Ambassador one.
Yeah, Sacred Stones. The Ambassador games were Sacred Stones, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Yoshi's Island, Metroid Fusion, Wario Land 4, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which I think is on that list.
It is.
Minish Cap, WarioWare, and F-Zero Maximum Velocity. Half the Ambassador games.
Yeah, so finally they will be available for purchase on
a different console.
So you're saying, yeah, it's like the work's already been done. They exist. They just don't hit that button for some reason. That is.
What a weird thing. It's like, hey, I'll give you money. You don't want my? Okay. Never mind. I'll keep my money.
Really, the one that can never exist anywhere else is Twisted, which was awesome. WarioWare Twisted.
Are you forgetting Kirby's Tilt and Tumble?
That didn't get ported around either, did it?
Are you guys both forgetting that both the 3DS and the Wii U have gyro controls?
But like, wouldn't that be some really challenging thing to port that functionality over? Like,
it would require more work than porting like an emulator. Yes.
Yeah. So that just seems like something they might not be inclined to do, but they should, because yeah, you're right. If I was just twisting around the gamepad, that would be pretty awesome. Playing this like decade-old GBA game, but I would enjoy it just like it was brand new. Once again, it's awesome. So I don't know other stuff, like I'm just thinking of like Final Fantasy ports and whatever, like that's not essential.
I don't have a ton of like super lovable GBA games. Like DS games, I have a ton of like weird stuff I'm way into. It's been a while since I've looked at my GBA collection.
Yeah, it's really Castlevania and Metroid stuff was my big jam from GBA, and Zelda. So those are the ones that we need. So I don't know.
I'm surprised they haven't done Pokemon. Like, what are you doing? Just money if you did that.
Like the old carts being stupid expensive, like in kind of garage sales and like secondhand market doesn't help.
I'm assuming it's because maybe like that game's all about trading with your friends, and it might get hard at that point. But the internet exists, so it's doable. But it's Nintendo. But still, like, even if
they just released past iterations
without like the trading aspect, like if they just took it out, it would still sell like hotcakes. It's Pokemon.
Yeah. They could charge a little bit more for it even if they wanted to. Just be like, it's $10 for Pokemon because you'll pay it. It's $20.
Yeah.
Whatever.
$100 for Pokemon.
$100. Maybe not at that point, but yeah. Other questions? There's a whole bunch. It looks like. Do you want to? That's question time. Questions for everybody.
I think it's time for emails.
Yeah, that's it. Andrew. I guess we brought up Fire Emblem a couple times. Is it reasonable to compare Fire Emblem with XCOM in terms of how to play the game? Like, besides different weapons and such, are they similar games? How would you compare XCOM to Fire Emblem? I mean, they're both strategy RPGs.
I understand they're both tactics. I didn't play XCOM. John did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I played the new one a bit.
There's more options in a way in XCOM.
Like you're shooting through walls and stuff. Like there's
you got to worry about cover, where you put your units. There's no pairing up like in the newer Fire Emblem, but I mean, like it is essentially a grid-based strategy game with minimum units that if your units die, they are dead permanently.
The characters are less defined in XCOM. Like they're kind of just a named unit that gets better, but they don't have like written dialogue and like backstory and stuff really.
Basically, imagine if every character in XCOM, at least like your units, was basically your avatar in Fire Emblem Awakening. So you could customize them to be whatever you want out of the limitations they give you. And they wouldn't really give you much plot. Like there's actual like plot element characters at your main base where you can customize your base and how you grow and help save the world, but
it's less story focused. It's more.
I feel like if it's just a tactics game, though, the gameplay is pretty similar. You have a grid. You can only move them a certain length of distance.
Mm-hmm. Like you get special bonuses for attacking from certain angles.
Like I think almost all tactics game are pretty similar, and and then you get into stuff like the one example I was thinking of was like Skulls of the Shogun, where they really try to change it, where it's kind of not really a tactics game anymore, and it's just kind of weird and slow now.
Yeah, I would say like Fire Emblem is a good like starting step to go to heavier stuff like XCOM.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. There's another question from a different Andrew. There's a set of questions. Question 1. Over the last week, I've come into possession of a PS3, N64, and NES with a lot of games and controllers, which are listed at the bottom of this email.
That's random 3 systems to get.
Yeah. My question is, are there any good console exclusives that aren't now available on PC or Steam or anything, or just any weird, strange games for those systems specifically that you'd recommend? So he has a list of all the stuff he already has.
Which he also mentioned he got all that for $100, and that's an incredible deal.
That is a really good deal for $100.
What's with the PS3 being thrown in there at that point? Like that's kind of nuts. But
the PS3 alone's worth that price.
Yep.
It's worth like twice the price of $100.
Isn't the 4 gig PS3 like $100? Or is that $200?
Is there a 4 gig PS3?
There's a 4 gig PS3, the new like slide top model, and I forget if it's $100 or $200.
I want to say it's got to be like $200 or at least $150.
Let me just see. Okay, so for PS3 specifically, I'm starting at the bottom just because it's a shorter list. Condemned 2 Bloodshot. It's a great game.
Oh, you're saying these are the things he got?
These are things he has: Devil May Cry 4, Heavy Rain, Battlefield 3, Black Ops, MotorStorm, Sport Champions, Time Crisis, Ghost Recon 2, and like Move and stuff. So I guess stuff you're missing, like it's a console exclusive, Red Dead Redemption. Like it never.
The Uncharted series. How is that not your first one?
Yeah, the Uncharted series, Valkyria Chronicles.
Infamous.
There's a bunch of Tales of games.
You're right. Yeah, the Infamous games.
If you love Heavy Rain, you can check out Beyond.
But the Ratchet and Clank series is all on there. The entire series.
I wonder how. Do you think those are honestly hold up? Like worth? I don't know.
Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't that into the next gen one I played.
Oh, come on, God of War.
I think the Ratchet and Clank hold up.
Yeah, God of War 3.
All the God of Wars are on PS3 because there's even the PS3 ones in the first two because the HD collections.
And those are truly exclusive to that.
Eco and Shadow of the Colossus.
A lot of people like Last of Us. I don't know if you heard about that game.
I don't. How did we not think of that? Last of Us is real good.
I mean, we brought up
a whole bunch
of
PS3
stuff. Yeah, those are some main PS3 business. Okay, where's N64 start? Okay, Ocarina of Time. It's a good one to get. GoldenEye, Quake 2, Perfect Dark, Spider-Man. Actually, pretty sweet game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. Does not hold up as well as yeah, we did a podcast on that over at Retro Kill Screen. Duke Nukem 64, Duke Nukem 0 Hour, In the Zone 2000. What is that?
Baseball.
Okay, so obviously Snowboard Kids, #1. You got to pick that up.
Snowboard Kids is gonna be hard to find though. It's an Atlas game.
Yeah, I'm just told it's awesome. I haven't actually really played it.
I rented that game back in the day.
Is it dope? Is it pretty awesome?
I enjoyed it, but okay, he's missing the Mario games. He's missing Smash Bros.
Yeah.
He's missing Mario Kart.
I mean, you got Ocarina, but you don't got Majora's Mask, so the real killer.
All I'm saying is Mario Kart 64 has Block Fort, which is the best multiplayer Mario Kart level ever made.
I've been meaning to...
Are we assuming that he has the expansion pack because he has Perfect Dark?
One Memory Card and Force Pack. Yeah, I don't know if he has the expansion.
He doesn't have the expansion. But
if he can play the single player in Perfect Dark, he has the expansion pack.
Oh, that's true. If you have, yeah, okay, so that's a good litmus test to see if you got what you need.
Because at that point, you can say Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, although DK64 is the only one that actually
Conquer.
Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Although, I mean, these are all like, well, I'm wondering how many of these games are really worth going back to. Like, I mean, Shadows of the Empire, that's one that isn't, in fact.
Yeah, Shadows of the Empire does not hold up as well as
I didn't even like Rogue Squadron then. So I'm also going to raise an eyebrow at that.
I think Rogue Squadron's good.
Okay.
But it's difficult, but it's good.
These Duke Nukem games, no idea how those...
If you like Duke Nukem, you'll like
stack
them.
Up.
Duke Nukem 64 is just Duke Nukem 3D. And 0 Hour is a third-person shooter with time travel.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I honestly feel Majora's Mask is an interesting thing that is exclusive to that platform. And, well, Nintendo platforms. You can get it downloadable now in various places. But yeah, like honestly, N64 was kind of a weird period where a lot of stuff from that era I just don't feel holds up at all. Like it's just old 3D is so gross now.
Some games hold up, but like I'm having a hard time just like picking out off the top of my head games that I would
truly
recommend.
Timeless. Like this is
because he's got like some of the standbys, like obviously Zelda, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye.
Yeah. Those are kind of the best loved games of that time period. So,
and then there's ones that are like hard to come across now or like expensive, like Blast Corps. I would recommend Beetle Adventure Racing.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, Pokemon Snap, but you can get them on Virtual Console now too.
How was Tetrasphere? Did you ever play that?
I never played it, but everyone I know who has really liked it.
Yeah, it's like I heard that was a cool puzzle game, and I can't imagine a puzzle game would date that horribly.
Diddy Kong Racing.
I enjoyed it at the time, but I bet it's not that great. But
I don't know. I know people who still play Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay, there's airplanes and hovercraft in it, so
F-Zero X.
It's pretty cool for that kind of era.
Hybrid Heaven, if you can find that.
Okay. NES. Super Mario Duck Hunt. He's got that. Rocketeer, Untouchables, Frankenstein, The Monster Returns, Nightshade, Power Blade, Clash of Demon Head, Punisher, Mighty Final Fight, MiG-29 Russian Warfighter, Werewolf the Last Warrior, Wrath of the Black Manta, Abadox. So awesome you have Abadox. Hydelide, and Vice Project Doom. So there you go.
Vice Project Doom is a good one.
Abadox was the subject of like a kind of GameSpot community videos like 9 years ago, but it's actually kind of an okay side-scrolling shooter thing. You're missing a lot of classic NES games.
Yeah.
So, Mario Brothers 3. I don't know if you heard about that one. It's pretty sweet.
Ninja Gaiden series, Ninja Turtles,
Metal
Gear, and Snake's Revenge.
I pause on those. You should probably get Metal Gear Subsistence with the bonus MSX versions of the first games.
That is technically the better version. Like, keep in mind, Snake's Revenge is just a whole different game.
Yeah, it's not even canon or anything.
He's missing like basically all the first part of like Nintendo stuff. You know, your Zeldas.
Zelda 2.
Metroid.
Do you think Faxanadu worthy of a recommendation on this list, or Goonies 2?
Those are tough recommendations. There are better games out there, but if you want like
essential,
interesting, like there aren't essential, but if you want interesting like adventure games, like I'd say consider both of those.
DuckTales.
Yep. The Dragon Warrior / Quest series, if you're into RPGs.
So again, like
the Mega Mans, all 6.
I guess he does open it up to any weird, strange games for these systems. So.
Oh man, there's like if you're talking weird games, and there's stuff like Bokosuka Wars.
Okay. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds weird, and you should get it. Bokosuka Wars.
That's a glowing recommendation from Nathan.
Yeah, based on no information other than the title. And
don't get Bokosuka Wars.
Okay.
All right, we gotta get to the next question.
Yeah, that's a big hefty question. Good purchase though. Way to do that. That sounds like a crazy.
All right, Logan writes in all the games you guys have played, what's the funniest glitch you've ever pulled off or seen someone pull off?
I really enjoyed doing kind of like the Mario 64 glitch run of like going through walls and like jumping backwards up the infinite staircase and that kind of junk. Like that was fun to do. So those are probably that's like the one time I was like, I heard about some cool glitches, I'm gonna go try to glitch out this game. But if you're talking about like just weird like stuff that happened whilst playing, like spasming out weirdness, this one time when I was playing the first Far Cry, it was basically ragdoll weirdness of like dude getting stuck in the wall and then kind of vibrating up the side of the wall upside down, just like rapid fire dangling, and it looked really weird.
That's when you showed PS4 or Xbox share.
Yeah. But this was PC in like 2005, so it's like I'm gonna take a screenshot and then try to explain what happened.
I didn't Photoshop this.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Glitch stories, guys? Any?
I don't think I have anything cool. I've never been super into the glitch stuff.
I feel like I break games so often at this point that I kind of lost track. Like, one of my favorite ones that other people discovered that I learned how to do was in the first stage of Perfect Dark, you can fall through the entire stage and land in the exit, so you beat the stage in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Great.
I guess I don't need to know how to pull it off, but cool.
You ride on like some dude's head and then you like stand up when you're in a doorway.
And then
you just fall through the stage.
Right into the exit. Awesome. Okay. And Sean, nothing? Yeah.
The only thing jumping in mind was like that I did a bunch was like the Missigno stuff in like the original Pokemon games.
What is that?
Oh, Missigno. God.
That's
like an exploit kind of thing, or?
Yeah. Well, you would talk to this one guy in a certain town, and then you would immediately fly to a different town, and if you surfed in the right spot, a glitch Pokemon that was named Missigno, because it was like missing number or something like that, would show up.
Oh, okay.
And then what it did is you could catch it, and whatever like item was in like your 6th slot would be duplicated like 99 times.
Wow. Weird.
Yeah, but it would slowly corrupt your game if you weren't careful.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Someone in the chat reminded me of my favorite thing. They were talking about Halo 3. Halo 2 had this awesome glitch where if you switch between like a rocket launcher or sniper rifle and the sword, you could fly across the entire map to stab someone in the face. So we came up with like this weird game where we were just like midair jousting in Halo 2. It was really fun.
That is cool. Cool.
Dunsparce and Diglett. They have thoughts on RuneScape as a game. Did you play? Did you buy the stupid membership?
I haven't played it.
RuneScape Radio, our nemesis podcast, obviously brought this on.
Our rival?
Yeah. I actually looked up, like, there are 2 RuneScape podcasts. There's a current one that's still totally active, but then there's RuneScape Radio, which, honestly, 7 years since the last episode. It's weird. I did play the original RuneScape. I did not get the membership.
I didn't play it.
You never checked it out? Okay. I just liked the broad level of stuff you could do. Like, honestly, my favorite times in that game was, like, cooking pizzas. Like, it was just, like, you could level up cooking skills. So I was just hanging out in this mill, grinding flour, and then making pizza. And it was, like, so dumb and repetitive, but it was, like, the perfect background game while you're listening to music or something. Like, just, yeah. Or, yeah, playing with friends and stuff. Java-based games. Next question, someone else want to...
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Next one's from the Juker. What are your thoughts on the Steam box, and will you be getting one? I think it's a cool idea. I might, depending on the price.
They're supposed to be kind of low cost, right?
I already have a gaming PC. I don't really need one.
That's the thing. Like, we have a beefy PC that's just plugged right into the TV, and we don't feel too self-conscious about just having a giant tower in the middle of the room. So, not even the middle of the room. I just mean in the room. Right. So it doesn't really fit our needs, but it, you know, getting PC content on your television, 100% in favor of that. So if this makes that easier for some people to do, I get it as a thing. But yeah, I don't personally feel like I need one. But yeah, good idea. Michael Jacobs.
Michael Jacobs writes in. What are your guys' thoughts on Disney buying Maker Studios?
Oh yeah, that was another weird acquisition thing. They're the MakerBot people? Is that...
No.
It's not the same thing? It's not the same thing?
Maker Studios, the parent company I'm with.
Oh, okay. YouTube business?
Yeah, YouTube business. So Maker Studios, who owns like Polaris, a couple other like RPM.
Why was Freddie Mercury in this lineup of dudes? What's going on?
What?
I'm looking at the Maker website right now, and I mean, there's like PewDiePie and everybody, but Skrillex was there, and then I'm pretty sure Freddie Mercury ran past, and I don't know why, because he's dead. Anyway, internet
dead.
Content makers. Sorry, I thought they were getting way into 3D printing.
That's MakerBot.
Yeah. Totally different thing.
Nice.
How do you feel about it, John? This seems to personally affect you more.
I'm okay with it, honestly, as long as things don't change. I don't know if things will change. Disney...
Yeah, you got all that Disney money coming your way, son.
I am technically now not an employee of Disney, but a contractor for Disney. So
Can you get discounts on tickets to Disneyland?
I don't think that's how that works.
John, are you going to take us to Disneyland?
No.
Free Frozen Blu-rays?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
John, can you get them to make me into a Disney Infinity character?
I'll make you a Disney princess.
I'll take it.
I guess, yeah, my thoughts on it were I didn't know what Maker Studios was. I was looking this up and trying to figure it out earlier this week, but I don't know.
Oh, Dan in the chat brings up a good point. Where do we send in questions?
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of different ways.
We're all over the place today. It's because it's a Saturday and not Thursday.
We're looking at a lot of Twitter ones right now. They're at TDP Podcast on Twitter. There's a Facebook group, so just the owners of Oculus, they have a social website, and you can send questions there. And then there's also
Top Down Perspective on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then, topdownperspective@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the main old way of doing it. Do you prefer podcasts at the beginning of the week or the end of the week? Allison is wondering about that. On Twitter is where this is being asked. Beginning or end of the week? When do you prefer those to happen?
I don't have very many that happen at the beginning of the week because most people don't do podcasts on the weekends.
That's true. We've kind of been putting them near the weekends for a little bit now, but
right. Like we do the end of the week. Most people do end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really
all
care
the stuff has happened, and then you go into the weekend, and it's not a lot of new stuff.
I usually don't care. Like worst comes to worst, I don't get to it. I'll just listen to it at the beginning of the week. But
in terms of like I am rarely. I can't wait for the new one to come out so I can listen to it right now. Like it usually just doesn't work out that way anymore. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Middle of the week, I guess, because I need them for work days for commutes nowadays. So that's why I want them for that purpose. And yeah, sorry, I skipped one of her questions. My favorite show, Space Dandy, is getting another season. What shows are you looking forward to that has another season coming? Any TV shows you guys are keenly awaiting?
I'm curious about the next True Detective season.
Yeah, that's not going to be for a while, but yes, I would watch that. You guys aren't hyped on that Game of Thrones new one's coming out?
Not really. I'm behind on that.
Winters.
You guys are way into South Park now.
Yep.
Nah, I mean, there's like 3 seasons I haven't seen, so yeah, I've got enough content on that front. The next one I'm super like I have to see this is Mad Men. Like the 7th season is coming up, and last season I think. So that one is definitely one. Hannibal is one that's on right now, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I want it to be renewed for another season. So people should watch it, so that will happen.
Settle.
But yeah, Mad Men. That's really the one right now.
I'm not really watching TV right now, so I got nothing.
Okay. Third Allison question. Hey guys, I recently saw Muppets Most Wanted, and it brought up a fun question. Who's your favorite Muppet? Mine is Gonzo.
Statler and Waldorf.
Mine were Statler and Waldorf too.
But which of the 2 is your favorite?
But they're the same character.
Yeah, they might as well be like combined.
Well, it's like Ernie and Bert, but you can't just be like, well, no.
Those 2 have distinct personalities.
Statler and Waldorf are pretty much the same character.
Just one is a mustache, and the other one's balding more-ish, sort of.
I'm glad you mentioned Statler and Waldorf because I had forgotten about those. But yes, they're my favorite Muppets.
Yeah. I originally I was thinking I would say Animal or Swedish Chef. No, Statler and Waldorf easily.
I also like the scientist guy that always...
Oh, Beaker and Bunsen?
Yeah,
Bunsen
that always electrocutes or blows up the... I think it's Beaker.
Yeah, Beaker always gets exploded.
I'm going to say Fozzie Bear. I like Fozzie Bear. Because in that first movie, they go on a road trip. So, sorry,
I'm a guy that would like Fozzie Bear.
Yeah.
Is that meant to be an insult?
No,
I don't think so.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, just like Studebakers. Whatever. That's all that means. And now, who wants the last question, last one of the week?
I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, GDB Podcast. What's one game over the years that you once had a lot of hype for, but ended up a huge disappointment once you played it? Duke Nukem Forever.
This is from Devin.
Yeah.
You thought Duke Nukem Forever was gonna be good?
I just wanted it to be released, honestly.
Okay.
And this
I was there day one for the hype train, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bought that collector's edition.
Yeah, but I mean, I also had the PC Gamer magazines when they were first announcing the game.
I'm trying to think if there was one I was super excited for that didn't work.
I mean, there's the one I always say.
Yoshi's New Island.
I guess, yeah. Sounds like it might be a contender. Brutal Legend was one for me where I was super amped about it, and then it was just I thought this was God of War but heavy metal and Double Fine, but it's instead a real-time strategy game. I don't like those. That was kind of just the thing. It might be a good one. It's not my genre, and yeah, I felt there was a bit of a weird bait and switch there. So yeah, that was one for me of this last generation. I'm trying to further back. Rogue Squadron, I don't know.
I can't really think of
one.
What is? There has to be something I really wanted but didn't turn out to be
Professor
great.
Layton.
I guess this current one, but
Ground Zeroes.
I haven't played it.
No, I wasn't bothered by Ground Zeroes. It's not huge. Just but maybe thinking of Metal Gear now though, maybe a little bit Metal Gear Solid 4, maybe a little bit. Just I was a little miffed by some of the story.
Cutscene.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that not the most recent Need for Speed game, but the one before that was supposed to be kind of
Most Wanted.
Paradise. Yeah, Most Wanted, but they screwed up the multiplayer. Maybe that one.
Okay. So Need for Speed stuff, maybe Layton, Yoshi's New Island. Okay. Disappointing games. They still happen. So there you go. Those are questions. Abstracted with Gmail, Facebook, Twitter. I guess YouTube, we don't mention that a lot, but there's a channel. There's 60, 70 people watching right now.
Some people are watching this right now, yeah.
Yeah,
people are watching it. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
A bunch of people
Someone
are
in the chat's asking, Johnny, are you streaming after this?
Yeah, I'm going to stream later tonight. I just don't know when it's going to be because I got to grab supper first before I start streaming because I want to have food in my stomach.
Okay.
Want to survive.
I want to live.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Yeah. Okay. So, games of the week. I don't know.
John's is Yoshi, yeah.
South Park Stick of Truth.
Oh.
Okay. South Park Stick of Truth. I'm gonna go with Chrono Trigger.
Whoa.
Good choice.
Dude, it's been
choice.
awesome. Like I've been tons of nostalgia and all that stuff too, but yeah, just good old JRPG times, fun stuff.
Mine is Tropical Freeze.
Okay, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. So there you go. Those are your games of the week for this Top Down Perspective, March 29th.
Yep. Weird Saturday edition.
Yeah.
Throw off our uploading schedule. Oh no.
Yep. We'll be back next week, guys.
Cool. See you guys then.
Thanks for coming out.